Hello and welcome to Stylish Chats with Creatives. Today on the podcast, I've got Emma Uyttendaele. Hello.
Hello, Charlotte. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I've got a beveragino here.
Oh, I've just seen it. Now, it looks like a rather large glass of wine.
Yeah, you could call it a pint of wine. Because I'm classing.
Is it actually a pint?
It's like half a bowl because I put it in a glass and I was like, oh, I'll finish it off. It's already been open a day. I've got to finish it off. It's bad wine otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. And it's rosé, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or red. Yeah.
It's rosé.
Rosé you can't like just whack in like a bolognese. You've got to get it like
exactly. It's
you've
not
got to
good for
drink it.
anything else.
No. And part of me thinks you went, oh fuck, I'm recording with Charlotte. I need half a pint of wine.
Need some liquid luck. Get it.
Yeah, just get it going.
Get in the mood.
Well, you are celebrating.
I am.
Two celebrations. I'll mention one though.
Okay.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
That's so very exciting.
Isn't it just? I mean, it is for me anyway. It might not be for anyone else,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty stoked about it.
I think getting engaged is well exciting. You get all the you get to be in the wedding realm of things, and you're like, oh, I didn't realise I need this, and there's a whole world out there of wedding stuff to look at.
A whole world. It's still not quite hit me yet. It just it feels like nothing's happened. But it feels like I genuinely just dreamed about it, and I just happened to be wearing a ring on my finger.
Oh.
It's more like it's a dream because I just didn't expect it to ever happen. At least not this soon. I say soon. Me and my partner have been together for 5 years, but yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen, and it did, which is lovely. I'm super stoked about it, but it hasn't quite hit me yet. I went for a lunch today with my mum, and we were talking about it, and I was just like, I don't think it'll hit me until I actually have to put a deposit down for something, or until I go looking at venues or wedding dress shopping. I was like, I don't think it'll actually hit me until way later on.
Yeah. It hit me when I started wedding dress shopping, and everyone was like, oh, you're engaged, and there was a little buzz around. You'd oh, so cute.
Yeah. So it's just been really, really lovely the last few days, and now I get to have a chat with my favourite stylist.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Life is good.
Oh. And happy birthday as well.
Yeah, and it's my birthday. It's been a great few days. It's all happening at once.
Such a lovely little weekend, and then you're ending it with my beautiful face.
Of course, the best way to end it. Your face and half a pint of wine.
I think the half a pint of wine's helping you look at my face, to be honest.
No, of course not. Happy to see your face anytime, my lovely.
Oh, I have missed you. I've not seen you for a while. I have missed you.
We haven't seen each other for a while. I miss us
work bestie.
Just gallivanting next to the stinky freezer.
Oh, yeah.
About life.
Oh, yeah. And watching the world go by.
Watching the world go by.
Do you remember that time that I scared the fucking ice cream truck guy when we were laid down outside eating our lunch?
Yeah.
And then I saw the ice cream truck guy and I ran to him like I was a kid. Yeah. But I was hiding behind the bush, so he didn't see me come in, shat his pants.
He's just like, oh my God.
You again.
Yeah. If you've ever seen that, what's that movie called? Is it called Us? You? Oh, I've forgotten now. But one of the characters in it doesn't. It's like a psychological thriller, and someone in it does an absolutely psychotic run where they're just stood up straight and their arms are like this, and he's full on sprinting towards this guy, no expression on his face. That's what I imagine the ice cream man saw. He's just
I think that's
happening to me now.
That's pretty much what he saw, I think. And just me need ice cream. Give it to me.
Vegan magnums. They did look 100%. Good to me.
They were pretty good, to be honest. Not that I've had a normal magnum for a long while, so I can't really say which was best, but yeah, they're pretty good.
There you go.
Pretty good.
If it tastes like ice cream, then
yeah, it's a win on a hot day, right?
Yep. It's a win on a hot day.
Even a cold one if you're feeling brave.
Depending on how much you love ice cream.
Yeah, that's it. So I'll just fill the listeners in a little bit. We have worked together in a South Manchester agency, and you are the queen of TikTok.
That's one way to put it.
Well, I think you are. It's magic what you can do with that, because I don't know how you edit all those videos, and like, just, it blows my mind. It blows my tiny little mind that had I have thought, I don't know, 15 years ago that we'd be watching so much social media and having like TikToks. If I even thought TikTok was a thing, it would have blown my mind then. And it blows my mind now that this is how big companies are selling stuff. And, you know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, even as someone who's grown up with social media, it still blows my mind that I now also get to do this as a job. Like, this is really going to show my age and that I'm quite a bit younger. But I remember, like, as a child, watching, like, PewDiePie and Zoella, like, specifically, and, like, all those, that kind of group, and watching their vlogs and stuff and being like, whoa, this is amazing. Like, imagine having a job like that. Like, it's so hard to get into, and, like, it's not, it wasn't even, like, a thing back then. You were kind of, like you could call it like a lucky break, I would say, to get into it. Yeah, you still had to be dedicated and like put in the effort, but it was definitely, I think back then, harder to become, I guess, what they call influencers now. And I just remember that being like an absolute dream job. Like, couldn't even fathom how you would get into that. And now I sort of half do that, I would say. I'm in that general direction, not quite as obviously on that scale, but yeah, it still blows my mind that it's now my job to do that too. And I feel very lucky. Some days I'm just like, I do this for a living.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like the videos I see that you've done, obviously we can't mention some client names, etc. But some of the stuff you did over Christmas was absolutely hilarious. I'm not sure if I can say it, but the one that you did over Christmas was so funny.
Oh, the main one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so annoying that we can't really say who it is, but...
No. It's teasing the audience. Teasing them.
Yeah, just guys, go into one of the main budget supermarkets TikToks around Christmas time and you'll find it. But some of these ideas, they're just so funny and they're so snappy, and I just think it's so insane that we're looking at them, and then like my dad, for example, will be then looking at reels on Facebook that are actually TikToks.
Yeah, because they just like get reposted on all social platforms.
And then he's like, oh, look at all these videos. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Dad, we saw that like a month ago. But Dad, if you're listening, don't download TikTok because we'll just lose you for years.
Get lost in the algorithms.
Get lost in yeah. He'll just be gone. That's his retirement gone.
Dissipate like in the Matrix or something and just become one with the phone.
Yeah, that's it. He'll just be like gone into all these like weird and wonderful parts of TikTok that no one even knew was there, like wood turning or something. But no, it's such a cool job. So do you have to come up with the ideas, or does somebody else come up with them and then you just have to but you have to execute them?
Luckily, it's the latter. I don't have to come up with them. I think if I had to come up with them, film them and edit them and post them, I think my head might actually explode. Props to the girls that I do work with on the like social marketing team that do come up with them, because some of them are absolute gold. Like that one at Christmas time, like that idea was just... It was great, and it was so much fun to film that one. That's definitely been one of my favourite TikToks so far. Just a good laugh, and got to do it twice. Got to do it once in the UK and then obviously once in Ireland as well. So
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was mad. That it's just, again, like, it's insane that my job took me to Ireland. Yes, it's not like the furthest country in the world, but it took me to a whole other country, and I was just like mind boggled. Didn't enjoy like the 6 a.m. flight, but you know,
I mean, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah,
exactly. But no, yeah. Luckily, I have a great team on the marketing side that come up with these ace ideas. And they'll usually just give me like a kind of stylistic approach of how the client would like to see it, and then I get to just kind of work my magic. With this client specifically, they're what I would call my main one, the one that takes up most of my time. So I think, you know, we kind of crack down on what client likes and what client doesn't like. Sorry. So I'm able to just kind of finesse my videos into something I know that they'll enjoy, and I get to have a bit of creative freedom with it as long as I know I hit certain boxes, whether that's with lighting, props, angles, like whatever it is. So that's, it's really fun. I get to execute it. And then I get to edit it, which is, you know, time consuming, but I wouldn't have it any other way because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and an arsehole if someone else has to take over and I'm like, you're doing it wrong. It's not how I would do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what's your favourite, aside from the main Christmas one that we just spoke about, what is your favourite type of TikTok? Sorry, my voice is going.
How dare you? How dare you have a cold? Unacceptable,
I know.
Charlotte.
The back end of a cold, you know, to record a podcast.
Yeah, it's great. When all the stuff's coming up and you just,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you feel me.
All the lovely bits.
Yeah, good job we're not filming this as well, because that would be gross.
You'd just be like...
But yeah, what's your favourite thing? Because I know you do some cooking stuff, you do some unboxing stuff, you have to style it as well. And like, what's your favourite thing out of that?
I guess it definitely depends on the month, the day even. Sometimes if I've been given a lot of recipe TikToks in a month, I might get a bit tired of doing them, purely just because they're the longest ones to do. They're really time consuming. So if I've had a lot of them, I'm just like, oh my God, I've got more to do. Like, I know this is going to take me a while. It's the clean up afterwards. Like, you know, you're coming home afterwards and you're like, right, I've got to cook again now and clean up again afterwards. So it can get a little bit repetitive in that way. But I do love recipes because although they're the most time consuming and sometimes the most difficult to film, depending on the recipe and like the steps in it, they can be the most rewarding outcomes and can just look, in my opinion, so beautiful sometimes. I remember I made like a Christmas wreath one, which was simple in the fact that it's just kind of me placing things down, so I didn't actually have to cook anything. Those are my favourite recipe videos, the ones where I don't have to actually cook things properly. And it was just so like aesthetically pleasing, and at least it was for me anyway. I really enjoyed doing that one, and like just adding the music afterwards, like the little like Christmas jingle that had, really gave me those Christmas vibes working up to Christmas as well, and like made me feel all, you know, all good, all special inside. I was like, oh, it's Christmas. So I definitely love recipe videos, as long as they're not too extreme or I haven't done loads of them. Otherwise, just anything that's like, if I'm allowed to say, basic bitch. Just kind of like that kind of, everyone kind of loves it. It's satisfying to watch. It's aesthetically pleasing. Like product show-offs or unboxings. Kind of like ASMR style sometimes. I'm a sucker for ASMR. So I love a good ASMR one. Although that is difficult to achieve in the studio sometimes because there's just drills going on constantly.
You've just got the set build like chomping past you with like heat guns and stuff and like sanders and just,
Or you'll have some of our amazing crazy colleagues sprinting down the corridor singing and you're like, okay, let me just refilm that step.
Yeah. Or there's like a dog in the studio or
there's a dog.
Cats or
children or...
Yeah.
So they're not always the easiest, but I do enjoy those ones. Sucker in my personal life for a good ASMR video.
Oh, yeah. I really like them. Have you seen this... there's a guy and he's always dressed in an Oodie and he's in bed and he's reacting to some of these videos where like he's like, I'm rich, you're poor.
Yeah,
and they're like,
I love that guy.
Me too. And they're like filling these, like, say, like the most recent one I watched was like a hot chocolate like stand, and they're filling up these like hot chocolate bits, and then they've got a drawer full of like chocolate stirrers or something. And he's like, once again on I'm rich, you're poor. Look at my drawer full of chocolate stirrers. And you're just like, oh. It's aesthetically pleasing, but he's so funny on it as well.
He's so like bang on the nail as well. He was just like, I love his freezer ones where like these women just go OTT and just have like an ice cube for every form of drink.
Oh yeah,
like, who's got the time? But then in my job, like you said, we had to do a hot chocolate station one. I was like, oh my god, I'm those women now. I have to make putting chocolate into a canister pleasing to watch. It was a nice one to do though, actually. So
yeah, I quite liked that one. I did see that one. I quite liked it.
It's good.
Yeah, I quite like that. How do you find styling as well? Because coming at it from a different point of view, because you used to be a photographer, do you find the styling of it easy? Or I know sometimes you've asked for like my help or whoever else is in the studio, but when you're left with it, do you find that quite complicated, or do you quite enjoy it? Or
I really enjoy the styling aspect, especially when I have the time to kind of think about it and style it and like propagate certain props and stuff. Propagate? Yeah, that might be the right word. Yeah, I love it then. I've always had like a passion for interior design. So when I get to kind of implement that into my work, I always find that really fun, and it kind of just relaxes me as well. But like I said, I'm not a stylist and I'm not an interior designer, so sometimes I do get a bit lost, or if it entirely depends on the product as well. Or if like recipe videos is pretty simple, it's like cutlery, napkin, maybe a plant and a chopping board in the background, self-explanatory things that you'd find in the kitchen. But other times, if I'm trying to do like say a larger set, or there's, you know, it's like a wider frame and wider angle and there's more in shot, then I know I've come to you guys before and I'm like, I don't know how to fill this space without it either seeming too much or too little. I'm like, how does it realistically look like this is an actual living room rather than just a fake wall that we've put up and a carpet, like a rug. So, I do love it. Sometimes it has its challenges, but yeah, I really love doing it, especially with this main client that I have. I seem to like understand what kind of aesthetic she wants and what kind of interior style she likes. So that's good because it kind of fits in with my own personal style. So I know how to do that one a bit more. But with other certain clients, it's completely different. And then you have to like kind of relearn again, like, oh, right, okay, so we're not doing this style anymore. We're gonna do a different style. And then it's kind of like, re-tricking your brain into like other aesthetics and styles. So I do love it, but it can be difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I call that putting a different client hat on. I'm like a very visual. I'm like, oh, right, okay, now I'm with this client and it's this hat that I have to wear because I have to get in that frame of mind to be, think that like them, basically.
Yeah, exactly. What people don't know is that you actually just have a whole box that you bring with you that actually has different hats in.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Like if you want like a really sleek, chic, manly one, you wear a top hat. I know people don't see this, but it's definitely true. Believe me.
Yeah. And actually, like my big styling kit is just, you know, each hat, but they've all got a tiny bit of leopard print on as well, just to stay on brand.
Yeah, just to stay on brand.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, that's how I do it. But it is hard when you first start doing. When I first started doing interior styling, it was hard to, like you say, balance it right, because some clients like stuff really clean, and then some clients like lots of cross-selling a product, and you know, it can be quite not hard, but it's a bit like a giant composition puzzle. So it's like slotting stuff into where you, and also you can make it look amazing to the eye, and then you put a camera on it and it looks like dog shit.
Yeah, right.
Like,
definitely have that problem a lot. I'm like, oh, this looks lovely, and then I'll put the camera on and be like, what is this? What have I created?
Yeah. And who knows what the camera does to make your styling look like shit, but something happens sometimes.
As a friend's quote, it adds £10.
Yeah.
That must be it.
Yeah, it must just add like wobbles or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely like something that happens and you'll be like, oh, damn it just looks like shit.
God damn it. And you've spent like 20 minutes doing it and you're like, well, shit.
Yeah, and that's where you walk away, have a cup of tea and come back and be like, right.
Yeah, that's when I just went to go talk to you and be like, I'm just going to chat with you for a bit.
Yeah. I need a break from this before I literally fall on the floor like a toddler and start having a fit.
I was having a tantrum about it.
Yeah. Oh, dear. So how did you get into your current position? I know that you have your own upcycling TikTok and Instagram, and that you do upcycling on the side as well. But how did you get into doing TikTok for a full-time job? Because that's like so cool.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jump. Yeah, I've got my little side business, which has taken a bit of a back burner because, well, this is a full-time job, and like I said, you're tired after it, and like I've still got to have a personal life and have downtime, and one of my goals, like halfway through last year and definitely this year, is just to have more kind of social interactions, which means just my weekends get taken up more now, like trying to actually create memories with friends and family and such.
Yeah. So
that's taken a bit of a back burner at the moment, but there are a few Instagram posts and TikToks on it, because just growing up in this kind of generation and having friends that work in social media as well, social media is the way to market a business. So yeah. I just knew, I was like, even if it's not a lot, it's better to have some kind of presence than no presence on a social platform. So that's there.
Yeah.
Not much has happened with it for a while, but it's there. And that's my love for interior design and such. So that's me just taking old pieces, giving them a new life, trying to sell them if I can, or it's doing commission work and making some profit on updoing someone else's piece of furniture because they don't either have the time or the vision, quotation marks, vision.
Yeah.
But so I've always kind of had this love. My job before my TikTok job is I was a product photographer. So I have a little bit of knowledge about cameras. It was pretty basic. So it's kind of like e-com shots most of the time. But yeah, I worked for this online fragrance retailer. So it was a lot of like perfume bottles. There was other things as well. We sold a variety of we sold makeup, candles, like body stuff like shower gels and such, but perfumes was the main thing, which actually is quite a nice product to take pictures of. It's not just like a boring white box or something that you can get some really kind of beautiful, intricate ones. But that was the job I had before this, and I absolutely adored it. I probably would still be there had the whole office not been made redundant. It was a whole debacle and just chaotic time.
That doesn't sound fun.
It was not fun. We laugh about it now, but it was not fun at the time. Everyone there was like a little family as well, so it was a hard time when we got told. So I would probably still be there had we not been made redundant. But in a way, I'm glad I was, because I've got this even more amazing job now, which is even more surreal. But had I not had that job before, I wouldn't have gotten into this one, because my photography experience there is what gave me experience to have like knowledge on doing photographs and videography to be able to do this job, and also gave me the kind of confidence to do my own social media content creation for my own business. So that was really fun. And also I had a portfolio there. I remember there was a client we had at this fragrance place, and they were really lovely. It was a small business that we were going to sell their stuff on their behalf. We were going to be their distributor, and the photos they had were okay, but they weren't like the happiest with them. I think they had maybe taken themselves as like we need some kind of pictures. So they were like, you take your own pictures, do what you want with it. Here's kind of like, they showed us like another website or another product that was similar to theirs, and they were like, we kind of like their style and we'd like to kind of implement that style ourselves. So me and my the only other photographer there were only two of us. Shout out to Jacob. Go Jacob. Absolute gem of a man. We were stoked because it was the first time that we had really been able to do whatever we liked, and it wasn't just e-com shots. We were able to do like lifestyle shots as well. And then that's also where my like kind of love and a little bit of knowledge of styling came from, because I was able to style the photos, and like the client really liked them, and that was a really good time. I remember that. That was a nice time. So, but yeah, so basically did a photography job before this. So that's kind of how I got into it.
And also I have to say that shooting glass with liquid in is incredibly hard.
It's not the easiest, especially, glass, man. You get a lot of reflections in glass.
Yeah. So we'll just fill the listeners in a little bit. Ecom is where you... It's where you shoot stuff generally on a white background, and it's like a landing shot when you're on your favourite website to purchase your clothes or whatever. Yeah. So in order for you to have shot those like perfume bottles, you must have had so many like scrims in and stuff, and just tracing paper everywhere, and like little bits of black card, and just... That's set
I would say
man.
They weren't as, especially my work anyway, they weren't as pristine as what we get at the studio. When I'm watching the other photographers work at our studio, I'm just like mind boggled. I'm like, you use so much equipment. I just had like two polyboards and a thing that we cut a hole out that sat on the camera lens. See ourselves. But it's definitely a case of messing with lighting, and then me anyway. Jacob might have been different, but I am a lover of editing in Photoshop, and we were allowed to do that there. We didn't have to like send it to another team. We were the ones that did any like image retouching too. So if there ever was something in the image, if you could see like a reflection of us or something, I was just like, hey, get rid of that.
yeah.
And then like cutting around to make it cleaner and everything. It was definitely... You obviously know how big like the e-com shots can be, but having worked on yourself at the studio, and like how much space the lads take up. Me and my photographer Jacob just had two little tables each that we sat them on, and we were side by side.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, and we just kind of had to put the like lights and screens kind of in between us if we were shooting at the same time, so we didn't get accidental like flash on it.
Oh man,
it was fun though. It was like close quarters fun. It was for a lot of a smaller business too, and I loved working for that company for the reason of working with my colleagues, not necessarily the company itself. So I don't have any like anxious feelings about saying this. They weren't the best company in the world, and they wanted quantity over quality. So we were able to just kind of bash them out as well. But I definitely helped like hone my photography skills a little bit in that job, which I think makes me able to do the job now. Although saying that, I feel personally like I've grown a lot in the however long it is, 9-10 months I've been in this job now, with my videography skills and like my lighting and stuff. And I also think that's just because we have, thank God, more materials and like resources at the studio, and I have those amazing photographers too. Jacob was amazing too. That's not to say he wasn't. He's absolute pro, much better than I was. It's like the same level as the guys at the studio. But yeah, having people around that are so lovely and so just willing to help you as well is such a blessing. Because if I felt like if I was on my own, or everyone was like standoffish, I wouldn't be able to have gotten to the standard that I'm at today. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was when I started out.
Yeah, I do agree. That studio is so friendly, and they've all got... There's such a broad array of skills in there that, I mean, there's the likes of Emmett, who's a street photographer on the side as well, and then there's the likes of Ben, who does videography as well, and editing, and like, you know, even like the senior photographers who have been there a long time have got so much knowledge there. And I think it's so nice that they're sharing it with you and everyone's helping out, because that doesn't happen that often, I found, in some places. So it's quite nice that everybody's willing to go, oh yeah, well, I'll help you do that, or, you know, I'll show you how to do that better, or a different way to improve you. So that's really good.
Yeah. No, everyone there is so lovely, and like you said, you don't get that everywhere. And even no matter how like busy they are, everyone is always willing to help. Like I remember starting out, and I remember asking Ben, because I kind of took over from Ben, I guess, and Emma and Michael too. I remember asking him at the beginning, like, how would you kind of like this? And he just kind of quickly showed me like a basic setup. But even that just kind of it gave me some confidence. And I was like, oh, that's so easy to just kind of... You would think I would know this from photography, but videography is slightly different still. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, it's not quite working like the same way. And like the 2 lights that I had were very different from the 2 lights that I had worked with as a photographer too. So it's just like learning that as well. But I remember one day I was using like more polyboards and like screens, and I was really like getting into it and like really trying to just test lighting. And I think I'm pretty sure it was Michael that walked past me and was like, oh, I like your use of like polyboards there. And just that was like, oh, that really like made me feel good. I was just like, oh, like a fully fledged proper photographer has admired my lighting and said it's good. I must be doing all right.
Yeah. I think that's it, isn't it? The little like confidence boosts from others, just kind of saying like, you're doing all right, mate. I like that. I like what you're doing. It lifts you throughout the day, especially if you're doing something you're a little bit newer to as well.
For sure. Yeah. Because the TikToks that I had created for myself are not on the same level of was what I do for work. Even now, so if I picked up the camera to take some of like a furniture piece, if I'd done a furniture piece now, and I was like, oh, I need to make a TikTok out of this, it still wouldn't be the same standard. I don't have the lighting, I don't have the resources, my camera is crap compared to the ones that we use on the phones at work. Seriously, mine's basically like from the caveman era. It's like 5 pixels.
You and me both, hun. You and me both.
Yeah. But yeah, so I do love working there. Shout out to my Shout out to the peeps.
Shout out to the crew.
The crew. Yeah. Absolutely adore working with you guys. Thank you for making it an absolute dream to work there. You included, Charlotte, of course.
Oh, I've not been there for a while, but yes. Of course, I'm the dream.
Yeah, you know. Well,
blowing my own trumpet there.
You were one of my little guardian angels when I first came there. I remember being so nervous, and obviously everyone there is kind of already like a little family, and everyone's really close, and they've worked together for like years and years. And I'm just like, hello, just walking like, hi. And I remember you just kind of like took me under your wing, and you made sure that I was like never alone. So I really, really appreciate that.
Oh,
I would have felt probably, not that anyone else wasn't lovely, but I just really feel like you especially kind of reached out and was just like, here, come to me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. I loved it. I like meeting new people though. That's my thing. Like I just genuinely like meeting new people and having a gas, and like going to work and knowing that you can go and sit with someone and have a brew and have 5 minutes and be like, oh God, this is so annoying, or like, oh, this is going really great. It's just nice to have somebody there, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's, you gotta chat, and especially like with somewhere like that, you just, because everybody's such a little family as well, it is nice to get involved with everyone, but it can be overwhelming because they've known each other such a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why I definitely kind of clung to the freelancers as well, especially the stylists, because most of the stylists there, I would say, are freelance. I remember I was like, oh well, you've still worked here for ages, but I feel like I can approach you a bit more because you'll understand because you'll understand my situation more, because you've probably been through it more often, because you're always having to go to like different places and you're always getting new and different work, which is great, but it could be a little bit terrifying sometimes.
Yeah, like actually on that point, Nath actually said to me not so long ago, when, how do you do it? You go into a new studio so often and it's like your first day at school over and over and over again. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but again with the visuals here, but I put on like my confident cape and I'm just like, hey, I'm here to shoot, blah, blah, blah. And I think my chatty personality gets me out of thing. I don't think it gets me out of situations. I think it puts me in situations. But I think it helps being like that I'm quite a chatty personality, because then I can just go in and be like, hey, do you want a brew? I'm making a brew. Or, like, so I find it quite easy. But I think it is literally because I talk the hind legs off everybody until they either listen or roll their eyes and just be like, oh, for God's sake, when is she going to shut up?
Oh. Yeah, but you've got to have that. You've got to have at least one person who just talks.
Yeah.
Talks for England.
Yeah. I'm wondering if everyone at that studio is like, oh, it's been a bit quiet. Where's Charlotte?
They're just like, I can't hear any like cackles down the hall.
Yeah. Like, have we all gone deaf? We can't hear anybody cackling.
Maybe they are. Maybe I'll ask them tomorrow and be like, does it seem quiet to you?
Is it peaceful? Oh dear. Anybody who's worked with me knows that I can talk the hind legs off anyone, but I can also still do my work at the same time. So, there's something to be said about that.
It's all good.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So, before you got into your perfume role? I sound like I've had your half bottle of wine as well. Before you got into your photography role, what did you get up to? Where did you go to uni? Did you do a college course in photography, or how did you get into it?
Oh, well, interesting question. Bit of a messy one. I'm a bit of a jumper, shall we say. I like to try new things, but I'm not always the best at sticking at them when I get frustrated and annoyed, which isn't the best like quality, but it's me, so deal with it. So I did at college photography, art, and media studies. Then decided I don't like art because
fair.
Yeah, well, I did like art, but I wanted to be able to do my own art styles, and they just weren't allowing that there. They were like, no, you have to do it like this, because this is like the course, like curriculum, like we have to follow this way. Fair enough, but not for me. Like, art should be like a free kind of style thing, and like it very much wasn't.
Yeah. So
I dropped out of that in my first year, and it was too late in the year to pick up another subject. So the second year of my sixth form college, I was doing photography, media studies, media BTech, and then another media BTech because I had to do 2 years in one. So I went from 2 subjects to 4 subjects.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I went from like 2 days in college to like full time in college, and I was like, oh, I missed the day, so I could just go home halfway through the day. But it was absolutely the right choice. I absolutely loved learning about media and like film and stuff. And I'm not sure how true that is about my brother and my boyfriend, though. I don't think they enjoy the fact that I did media, because I ruin every movie we watch now. Just analysing and being like, this is going to happen in the plot, and then it happens and they're like, fuck off. Just like, how do you get this? And I'm like, I just did media, man. I understand like plots and like they follow a basic kind of structure, but absolutely adored that. And I think maybe that also helped me get into the job I have today, just like knowing about film and TV a little bit. But yeah, I did that, graduated, yay. Did pretty well, got 2 little like college awards, and I was like, oh, sick, bro. Look at my golden man. It's in the other room, I won't show you because that's bragging, but I was like, oh, it's my little band, like that. You were as if you were at the what are they called,
Oscars?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Like I was about to ask if they're actually up and celebrated as an award should be.
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
the wall.
Yeah. I've got them on my bookcase with all my books. I'm just like, yes. I use them as book stands.
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect weight. Stop the books toppling over. But yeah, I did that. And I always thought throughout college, I was like, oh, I love photography. I'm going to become a photographer. Soon as I graduated, immediately gave up on that idea. Because I remember just like, especially in my final months when everyone's working like super hard and you're producing like your final products and like art pieces. So it's like the best of your best. And I remember looking at everyone else's and being like, holy crap, these are really good. Obviously, like they do it. But like, I remember looking at mine and being like, mine's just good. Mine's not like exceptional or like mind blowing. Like some of the work that the other like students were producing was just like mind boggling. So I remember like that was a bit of a reality check for me. And it was like, I can do photography. I understand it. But I don't have that kind of natural talent and eye where you're just like, you've got it. You understand it. Like every picture you produce is phenomenal. Like I just wasn't at that level. So it was a bit of a eye-opener, but also like a kick in the confidence. And I was like, actually, I'm not good enough to do this. So I sort of gave up on that. And I was like, as much as I love it, I just don't think I'll succeed in trying to do a career path like that. Which I kind of came to terms with fairly quickly. I was like, it's fine. It doesn't mean I'm rubbish. It just means it's not the right one for me. So something that I've always loved doing as well was, like I've said previously, interior design. So I considered going to uni and doing a course in it, but it's not a common course at all. I struggled to find one at like, one of the main unis, should we call them. Your typical unis like Man Met or Liverpool or Leeds or Sheffield or wherever it is. So I remember I was just like, right, well, I'll get a job while I try and figure out what I want to do because I'm not finding a course that speaks to me. So I ended up getting a job in a certain UK DIY store, a well-known one, and I became a design consultant there, which was great because it basically was like a foothold into interior design. It basically just meant I was designing people's kitchens, bathrooms, and occasionally bedrooms. Mainly kitchens. So they would come, you would show them the products, you would go on like some CAD software and basically build their kitchen out and like design it how they wanted in mind. And I absolutely loved doing that. But the store I worked at was considered a small one of the smallest, I think, in the region. So we didn't get as many people coming in, at least not to do like designs. They would probably go to other competitor stores that had maybe like higher quality finishes and such, or like more range of what they could put in. So it just meant that whenever we did get a design coming in, it would be given to the other design consultants because I was the new girl. So I just got made to walk down the same 2 aisles every day. Just the 2 bathroom aisles facing up, but no one comes down the bloody bathroom aisles looking for squidgy things to put in the bath.
Yeah.
Because Amazon exists. So I was just walking 6 hours a day, just really, really bored out of my mind. And I went, stop, dog. He's trying to get in the room. I remember the manager, she was nice, but like it was the best way I can describe her is like, do you remember at school when you had those teachers that were really nice when you got them to talk about not schoolwork? When you managed to get them to talk about like what they did at the weekend or like what their favourite movie is and stuff. If you got her talking about stuff she liked, she was an absolute pleasant woman. But otherwise, she was a bit of a bitch. So I remember this one time, she was like, I need you to go get this stuff because we've like run out of like the underneath the display units. You need to go on like the top shelves where only staff are allowed to go to get like the overstock of it. So she was telling me, and I repeated it back to her, and I was like, so this is what you want me to get? And she went, yeah. So I went up the massive, like, stair ladders things. I'm not the best with heights, which was not the best. So I was a bit like, they shake like a shitting dog.
They fucking do.
They do. So I remember I went up to the highest shelf. I couldn't see it. And I was like, I can't find it. I was getting really frustrated, and I was determined I'm not going back to her to ask for help or to ask again what it is, because she's confirmed what it is. She said it's on this aisle, like, must be here somewhere. I was looking for probably like 15 minutes. Eventually I was like, I give up. I've got to go back to her and ask, like, I don't know where it is. I'm really sorry. Can you show me? Went back, explained that I couldn't find this thing. And she went, see, I knew you hadn't listened. That's not what I asked for. I need this. And I was like, you fucking confirmed to me what I repeated back to you what I thought you were asking me. And you said yes. So she was a bit of a tool bag. Took me to the thing, and yeah, sure enough, they were like right there, the thing she was asking for, because that's what she was asking for. But I had misunderstood, but she hadn't corrected me. And like, that was just one of the points where I was like, right, well, I don't want to be treated like this and talked to like a fucking idiot when I've tried to explain and like reiterate what I think you're asking me. Like, all I needed was a bit of like, no, sorry, that's not quite it what I'm asking for, or it's this thing. Like, it was basically, you know, like the IKEA things, what they called the Kallax units, where it's like the big square bookshelf things. She wanted the things that go inside the cloth boxes. How hard is that to say? She wanted the cloth boxes that go inside, but the way she described it, she wanted the Kallax units, like the fake, because we sold like versions of those. So she was like, I was like, so this is what you want? Saying like you want the actual unit itself. She said yes. Couldn't find it. Came back. She was like, no, I wanted the boxes. I knew you hadn't listened. And I was just like, oh my God, I could kill you right now. And this was just like baby Emma. I was like 17 at the time. I was like, I can't do it. I remember just like being really upset that day. And I was like, right, do you know what? I walk up and down 2 aisles every day for 6 hours. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not taking it. This isn't making me happy. This isn't what I want to do. I wanted to do interior design, not fucking, what's it called? Like facing up, making things look pretty that no one's touched anyway. So it's just me facing up my facing up. Just double facing. So I left that DIY store. I handed in my notice, and I found a course online to do interior design, and it was like a third of the cost of uni, and it was great. So I started doing that. I was really enjoying it. I did, I think, 2 out of 3 years, and by like the end of the second year, and when they had like sort of giving you the preview of what the third year is, I was like, I'm not getting what I want out of this. This isn't interior design. This is architecture. It's different. It's design, sure. And it's like, I guess you're looking at the interiors of buildings, but you're looking at like interior architecture, not interior design. You're not looking at like soft furnishings, color palettes, you know, all that lovely stuff. So what do you know? Emma left that too. And I did that for a while though. Like I said, I had done 2 out of 3 years, but some people said like, why didn't you just, you know, do your third year and then you would have got your bachelor's degree? And I was like, because I'm not enjoying it, and it's just me throwing money at it. Like, I still have to pay this back, so I'm paying it back at the moment. And it's like, it would have just been added for something that I never would have used, because it didn't actually teach me what I wanted it to teach me.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well, is that's such a mature view of uni courses as well, because, life really, because if you're not enjoying it and it's not adding value to you, then why are you doing it? Why are you carrying on? You know,
exactly.
Like, I just think there's that Marie Kondo quote: if it doesn't bring you joy, then I'm not going to get it right. But if it doesn't bring you joy, then get rid, basically.
Yeah, basically.
And I think that goes across all parts of life as well. You know, it can go down to like friendships, or, you know, a lot of other things as well. So I think that's a really mature way of looking at things. And I was in a similar situation to you with regards to uni. So I did a BTEC in fine art. So little known fact, I can draw. I haven't done for a while, but
weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex. I've got some.
I can draw.
I've got some naked ladies that I've drawn.
Do you draw them
just
like
hidden
in French girls?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Not a load of old ladies just aren't going to fall out of my cupboard, by the way. They're actually like portfolio pieces.
That's what's actually under that blanket behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the old ladies.
Just a few old ladies curled up in certain positions. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, that's it.
Sorry.
So yeah, I wanted to do a printmaking course, but like not digital printmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do I loved like lino printing, screen printing, things like that. And then when I went to go to uni, there used to be like an printing course, and then the year I decided to go to uni, they were like, oh no, that's just being added to the fine art course. And I was like, I don't want the rest of the fine art stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the printing. And then I was like, what's the point in me, same as you, forking out all this money to not do what I want? Like, yeah, what's the point? So yeah, I was very, very similar, and then ended up working, and then ended up being a stylist. So, but yeah, I think it was, well, it's funny now because there's a lot of like prints, and people are doing like, wallpapers now a thing again, and like people are buying prints for their houses and things, and had 18-year-old me gone and done that course, I don't know where I would be. Probably about 50 grand's worth of debt, but you don't know, do you? But no, it is a shame that they stop these little arts that are quite, because I would say interior design is an art.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely is. It's taking that kind of creative, knowledge and like outputting it into something to create, well, a piece of art, I guess. Like, people might be like, oh, it's just staging a room. Anyone can do that. And it's like, you say that, but it's more difficult than you think. I have learned that the hard way, especially when it comes to like studio production. Like, knowing how things will look on even just like certain angles. Because you guys like also sort of learn how the camera works and how it's gonna take the photo as well. You guys understand that, and like shadows and lighting as well. You guys begin to like learn that, and that definitely comes into play, because you could stage it beautifully, like you said earlier. To the eye, it's beautiful, and then on camera, it's flat, it's boring, the angle's wrong, that chair looks like it's got a weird arm on it. So it's definitely an art. I would say that for sure. I would completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, and I think it's a different art. Styling interiors is a completely different art to, oh my God, what's her name? I feel like her name's Michelle somebody, and she hosts a interior design show, and that interior design is completely different again to what styling interiors is, because it's just like they're then having to consider, well, we'd have to consider fabrics and stuff to a certain extent, but this is more like long term. So, and it's paint colours, and it's so involved, that side of things. Yeah,
it's definitely an in-depth kind of process, I guess you could call it. Like, there's so many stages to interior design and like designing a room and such. I forget what it is. I think it's on Channel Floor. Channel 4. Wow. I think it's on Channel 4, or it was, or ITV, one of them ones. And it's just like an interior design show where like they have amateur interior designers, whether they're self-taught.
Yeah. This is the same show.
Yeah, it is the same show. Yeah. And then they go into it, and then one of them wins, and then they win like a contract and stuff at the end to actually design. I think the last one was like a hotel lobby or something. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely adore that show. And it's so interesting to see different people's like own personal styles, or how they would understand and digest a brief, and then what they actually produce from it. It can it can vary so much, and just like how different I forget what they call it now. It's not accessories, it's like not finishes, it doesn't matter. How different
I know
aspects of it, like if you put up a stud wall or something, can affect like, or where you even position just furniture, can affect like flows of rooms and stuff. It's definitely really, really interesting, and I think there's layers to interior design.
Yeah, I think it's like, I like watching that show to see, the same as you, how everyone gets the same brief, but creatively they all interpret it differently.
Yeah.
And it also like gives me ideas as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, I think a lot of those contestants on the show go, oh shit, this is actually way harder in a space that we don't know, because it's different in your own house to like you say, a hotel or what have you. So yeah, it's really good though. I haven't done much I don't know.
Oh my god,
your dog is not happy. Is someone just come in?
Either someone's knocking at the door, or I mean, he's a bit of a baby, so something might have just spooked him.
Oh, bless him.
I can hear him growling still. I don't know what that is. We're going to order a takeaway in a bit, but we haven't ordered it yet. So, unless they've ordered it without
they've ordered it and gone, Emma's having this.
I think we're going to order sushi tonight, so I'm happy with
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good choice.
Sushi treat. Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good choice. I made like chili con carne yesterday, but because we're halfway through getting rid of the kitchen, we don't have a cooker hood.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not attached. So as I was cooking the chili off, it made me and Nath cough, and then Nath was like, I don't think I want to eat this.
That's how you know it's a good meal. It gives you like a chest infection. You're like, oh well.
Chest infection from the chilies. Even the dog was, yeah. Even the dog was begging to go outside. She's like, oh, give me clean air. Mum's cooked again. Ugh.
Oh no. Oh, Coco.
Oh, bless her. I think she's still beside me. She can't leave me alone. Bless her.
Loves her mum.
Yeah. She loves coming into work, so she's been a bit pissed off that she's not been able to come in recently.
Oh,
I've been in some fashion houses, so she's not allowed in.
Oh.
Yeah, so not that she'd do anything. She'd just wander around and be like, hey, I want some fuss off you.
Yeah, such a sweet girl.
Oh, yeah, such an annoying dog today. She just, honestly, I sat down, I've been prop shopping today, and I sat down to have some dinner or just like 5 minutes to myself, and she just kept barking to play with her like long rope, swinging her rope around. I was like, hun, like, just give me 5 minutes, please.
Please.
Must be what other people think of me when I come in and don't stop talking.
You're the dog swinging the rope around like, play with me.
Yeah. I'm like, attention.
I'll play tug of war with you any day.
Yes. I'll bring my rope in next time.
Nice.
On that weird and wonderful note, I think we'll wrap up there, my love. It has been absolutely lovely chatting to you today. Once again, congratulations on your engagement and happy bloody birthday.
Oh, thank you very much.
You best go and enjoy that sushi. Have some for me.
I want sushi now that I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, I want that sushi.
Yeah, go get it ordered, man.
Sushi. Well, thanks for having me on. An
It's
honour.
been a dream.
An absolute honour. Thank you. Love catching up with you anyway, regardless. So it's always good to chat.
Oh, it's always good to chat.
Always.
Lovely to chat. Well, I shall see you soon, my love.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please rate, follow and share, as it really helps this little podcast out. And if you have found value in the podcast and you have the means to, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes. This will help keep the podcast going. Join me next week for another fantastic guest. Bye.